My friends, I come to you today with a message that burns like fire in my bones, a word meant to awaken your soul, stir your spirit, and lift your eyes toward the throne of heaven. For some, this word will rattle you out of your spiritual sleep. For others, it will confirm what your spirit has already sensed, that God is moving, yes, right now, in the unseen, behind the curtain, preparing something so glorious your eyes haven't witnessed it, your ears haven't heard it, and your heart couldn't have imagined it. You've been walking through a valley, some of you so long that the valley has started to feel like home. But hear this clearly, the valley is not your final stop. God has prepared a mountain for you. A door is waiting, not just any door, but a divine one. A door no man can close, no lie can lock, no enemy can block. And when God decides it's time, hell has no veto power. When God says enough, chains snap. When He says move, waters part. When He says go, doors swing wide without resistance. There are moments when the atmosphere around you begins to shift. You may not be able to describe it. There's no billboard in the sky. And yet, something inside you knows. Change is coming. Not just any change, a holy shift, a God-ordained transformation, a lifting, an elevation marked by heaven's hand. But too often we miss the moment. We misread the pressure. We mistake the pain for punishment, when in reality, it's preparation. God is moving, and He's moving for you. Stay awake, stay ready, because your valley is not your end, it's the path to your mountain. But if you have eyes to see and ears to hear, the Spirit of the Lord is whispering to you, saying, I am about to do a new thing. Do you not perceive it? Yes, beloved, there are signs, clear signs, that God is about to open new doors in your life. Not all signs look like miracles. Some look like midnight. Some look like betrayal. Some look like silence. But they are signs nonetheless. So I ask you, are you paying attention? Are you discerning the season you're in? Or have you grown so weary that you stopped watching for the hand of God? Let me speak to your soul today. The door you've been praying for, the breakthrough you've been waiting on, the answer you've cried out for in the middle of the night, God heard it and He is responding. But before He opens that door, He often sends signals, spiritual indicators that something new is about to be birthed in your life. You must recognize the signs, for they are not always obvious to the natural eye. But to the one who walks in faith, they are unmistakable. First, when God is about to open new doors in your life, He will often shut others completely. And I'm not talking about gentle closings, I'm talking about slamming shut doors. Opportunities that once flowed are now blocked. People who were once with you are gone. Places you once thrived in now feel foreign and dry. Hear me, this is not rejection, it is redirection. God is not punishing you, He is preparing you. Don't curse the closed door, thank God for it. Because He's not closing you out, He's closing you into His purpose, His calling, His divine will. You see, when a door shuts in your face, it hurts. It can feel like loss, like failure, like abandonment. But what if I told you that closed doors are proof that God is near? What if I told you that when one door shuts, it's because a better one is being built? You may cry over what you lost, but you'll rejoice when you see what's coming, because the God you serve doesn't take things away without a plan to replace them with something better. The second sign is divine discontent. You used to be content with where you were. The job was good. The relationships were comfortable. The environment was predictable. But suddenly that comfort begins to feel like a cage. You wake up with a heaviness. The things that once brought you peace now bring you restlessness. This is not depression, my friend. This is divine agitation. God is stirring your nest. Just like the eagle stirs her young, not to torment you, but to teach you how to fly. You were not created to stay in the same place forever. And sometimes God has to make where you are uncomfortable so you can move into what's next. The shaking is a sign. The irritation is a sign. Don't ignore it. That agitation in your spirit is heaven's trumpet saying, "Get ready, it's time to move." You can't build tents in a place God is calling you to pass through. If you stay too long in the wrong season, you'll miss the door to the right one. Third, when God is about to open a new door, you will face unusual resistance. Oh yes, I said resistance. Because when the devil sees that God is setting something up for you, he doesn't wait until the door's open to attack. You better believe he comes early. He sends storms, distractions, confusion. He sends people to mock you, circumstances to discourage you, and lies to distort your vision. Why? Because even the enemy can smell promotion. Resistance is not always a sign you're going the wrong way. Sometimes it's the clearest sign you're getting close. The enemy doesn't waste energy on people who pose no threat to his kingdom. If you're facing hell right now, take heart. It's because heaven is preparing to release something into your life. You are under attack because you're carrying something precious. You are being pressed because you are being positioned. The pain is not punishment, it's preparation. Don't you dare quit now, you're too close. Fourth, when God is about to open new doors in your life, He will often send divine connections, people you did not expect, encounters you could not have orchestrated, moments that seem ordinary but are soaked in destiny. These are not just people passing through, these are messengers, carriers of favor, keys to your next season. They may not look like angels, they may not come wearing titles, but their presence ignites something in you. Their words open your eyes, their wisdom prepares your feet. Their favor unlocks places you could never have reached on your own. Do not ignore these divine appointments. God often hides purpose in people. He wraps your next level in a conversation. That stranger who speaks a word that pierces your heart. That mentor who walks into your life when you are about to give up. That door that opens through a simple introduction. These are not coincidences. These are confirmation. God is strategic. He will send the right person at the right time to say the right thing that pushes you into the right place. You've been praying for open doors, but God is sending people instead. Because His method is not always a miracle, it's often a man or woman of God carrying the answer to your cry. And you must be discerning. Some people come to distract, but others are sent to direct. Some come to drain, but others will help you draw from the well of purpose that has been buried under years of fear, regret, and hesitation. Fifth, when God is about to open new doors in your life, your appetite changes. Oh, listen closely now. What once satisfied your soul will no longer feed you. You'll find yourself hungry for deeper things. The music that used to entertain you will start to grieve your spirit. The conversations that once made you laugh will now feel empty. The places you used to frequent will begin to feel uncomfortable, even foreign. This isn't you being judgmental, this is you being sanctified. God is separating you from the shallow so He can reveal the sacred. He is increasing your hunger for righteousness. Your soul starts to crave the Word. You begin waking up earlier just to pray. You feel drawn to solitude. Your spirit becomes sensitive. This is not weakness, it's preparation. You are being made ready. You're shedding old skin because the oil for the next door requires a fresh vessel. God cannot pour new wine into old wine skins. So He purifies your desires. He changes your tastes. You no longer want what the world offers. You want what heaven is releasing. And let me tell you something, this hunger is a gift. Because God never stirs a hunger He doesn't intend to fill. When your appetite shifts, when you lose the craving for the common, when you start longing for the holy, that is a sure sign that God is about to open a door that requires a consecrated heart. Sixth, there will be a season of silence. Oh yes, don't let that silence fool you. Silence is not absence. Silence is strategy. There are moments when God stops speaking, not because He has abandoned you, but because He is watching to see what you will do with what He already said. The teacher is always silent during the test. Some of you have been crying out, "God, why can't I hear you?" But could it be that heaven is holding its breath, waiting to see if you will walk by faith and not by sight? If you will trust what He said, even when you can't trace what He's doing. Let me speak boldly now. This silence is sacred. It is the incubator of destiny. Seeds do not grow in noise. They grow in hidden places, dark places, quiet places. Don't despise the silence. Embrace it. Because while you wait in the stillness, heaven is building something behind the veil. The silence is where strength is forged. The silence is where roots grow deep. The silence is where you discover that your faith was never in what you felt. It was in who you knew. And when God finally speaks again, when that door swings wide open, you will be ready. Because you learned to walk without a spotlight. You learned to worship in the dark. You learned to stand when no one was clapping. You learned to believe when everything around you screamed doubt. That is the kind of faith that unlocks heaven. And seventh, listen to me with all your heart. Before God opens a new door in your life, He will always test your obedience. Not partial obedience, not delayed obedience, but radical, immediate, unquestioning obedience. Because the next door requires a level of trust that most are unwilling to offer. God will ask you to do something that doesn't make sense. He will ask you to walk away from something secure. He will ask you to sow when you feel like hoarding. He will ask you to speak when silence feels safe. He will ask you to forgive when revenge would feel better. And in that moment, everything in your flesh will scream no. But your spirit must rise up and say, "Yes, Lord." Do you remember Abraham? God told him to leave everything familiar. Not after the details were explained, not once the path was clear, but immediately, "Go to the land I will show you." God didn't even name the place. Why? Because obedience isn't about knowing the destination, it's about trusting the voice. God is not looking for people who just want open doors. He's looking for people who trust Him enough to walk through them without hesitation. Your obedience is the key, and the sooner you obey, the sooner the door opens. But if you delay, if you negotiate, if you hesitate, the door may remain shut. Not because God doesn't want to bless you, but because He refuses to release blessings to disobedient hands. The next level is not about talent. It's not about popularity. It's not about charisma. It's about character. Will you trust God when the path is unclear? Will you obey Him when it costs you everything? Will you say yes when it feels like the hardest thing in the world? Because that yes, my friend, that trembling, tear-empty, faith-soaked yes will split the heavens and shake the gates of hell. That yes will open doors no man can shut. Let me speak directly to the weary soul today. You've been waiting, you've been pressing, you've been praying, and you've been wondering, "God, is it ever going to happen? Is the door ever going to open?" Let me assure you, it is, but God is not in a rush. He's in control. And before He opens the door, He prepares the vessel. Because a door opened too soon can destroy what it was meant to bless. A door opened without preparation can turn promotion into a curse. God loves you too much to open a door you're not ready for. So instead of asking Him to hurry, ask Him to prepare you. Instead of demanding a timeline, surrender your trust. Instead of knocking frantically, rest in knowing the one who holds the keys is also the one who knows your heart. There is a door with your name on it. It was carved by grace. It was sealed with purpose. It is guarded by angels. And when God says it's time, no devil, no delay, no deception, no distraction can keep it closed. So rise up, lift your head, shake off the dust, wipe the tears, strengthen your faith, let fire fill your bones. God is not finished with you. He is just getting started. The door is near. The door is holy. The door is your next season, your next assignment, your next elevation, and God is already turning the knob. Stay in position. Stay in prayer. Stay in faith. Because I declare in the authority of heaven, the door is opening. But listen, before the door opens, God will often allow pressure to increase. Yes, the warfare intensifies. The attacks become more personal. The confusion grows louder. Why? Because hell does not war against something that isn't about to shift the atmosphere. When the enemy senses that heaven has marked you for transition, he will throw everything he has to distract you, to discourage you, to detain you. You think it's just stress, you think it's just a rough week, but no, beloved, it is a spiritual assault meant to stop you from stepping into the threshold of your next assignment. This is why you must not give up right before breakthrough. The greatest opposition often comes before the greatest opportunity. You will feel like quitting. You will feel forgotten. You will feel like your prayers have become echoes in an empty room. But that is the moment to dig your heels in, to grip the cross tighter, to stand even when your legs tremble. Because just beyond the pressure is the promise, and just beyond the tears is the testimony. Pressure is proof you're carrying something worth birthing. You are pregnant with purpose. The contractions of destiny are not meant to destroy you. They are pushing you to the door. God is using the shaking to shift you. He is using the discomfort to deliver you. He is using the storm to strengthen you. And though it feels like chaos in heaven's eyes, it's perfect timing. And let me speak to the ones who have been overlooked. You've been faithful in the background. You've served when no one clapped. You gave when no one thanked you. You prayed for others while your own heart was breaking. You've watched others walk through doors while you waited in silence, wondering when your turn would come. Hear me now. God has not forgotten you. Your name is written in His hands. Your tears are in His bottle. Your labor has not been in vain. Promotion does not come from people. It does not come from platforms. It comes from the Lord. And when God decides to lift you, He will bypass the opinions of men, the limits of systems, and the expectations of those who tried to box you in. He will raise you up in such a way that those who ignored you will have to watch you walk through the very doors they said would never open. God delights in taking the overlooked and making them overcomers. He takes the least likely and uses them mightily. He doesn't choose based on credentials. He chooses based on surrender. And if your heart has remained pure, if your motives have stayed holy, He will honor you openly. What you did in secret, He will reward in the light. But don't be surprised if the door doesn't look like what you expected. God is the master of mystery. He often wraps blessings in burdens. He hides breakthroughs inside battles. He places His glory inside garments of grief. You were looking for a grand door and something flashy, something celebrated. But God might open a door that looks small to man but leads to eternal impact. Never underestimate the power of a quiet calling. The open door might not be a platform. It might be a person. It might be a conversation. It might be a small act of obedience that changes a generation. Some of the greatest doors in Scripture were disguised as interruptions. Moses didn't expect a burning bush. David didn't expect Goliath. Esther didn't expect the king's favor. But they stepped through anyway, and history was changed. What if your interruption is really your invitation? What if what you're complaining about is the very thing God is using to elevate you? What if your detour is actually divine? You see, we often pray for open doors, but we resist the process that leads to them. We want the glory without the groaning. We want the prize without the pressure. But God says, "No, child, I am preparing you not just to walk through the door, but to remain standing once you do." Because not every open door is a blessing. Some doors are traps dressed as opportunities. That's why you must walk in discernment. Not every door that glows is God. Not every offer is holy. The enemy can open doors too. doors of compromise, doors of distraction, doors of destruction. If you are not anchored in the Word, you will walk through the wrong door, and what you thought was a blessing will become a burden. That's why your intimacy with God must be deeper than your desire for elevation. You must love His presence more than your platform. You must hunger for His voice more than for validation. You must want His will more than your own way, because only then can you truly discern which doors are divine. This is a season where God is refining His people. He is pruning what is unfruitful. He is revealing what has been hidden. He is testing motives. He is shaking kingdoms. And through all of it, He is whispering, "Stay close to me. Keep your eyes on me. Trust my timing. Obey my voice." You don't need to knock on every door. You don't need to force what God has not yet opened. You don't need to manipulate, strive, or beg. The door He opens for you will be undeniable. It will come with peace, not pressure. It will bring clarity, not confusion. It will align with His Word, not your worries. And you will know it's time. You will feel it in your spirit. A holy urgency, a fire in your bones, a peace that makes no sense. Everything in you will cry out, "This is the way, walk in it." And when that moment comes, you will not hesitate. You will not look back. You will not second guess. Because the preparation has produced boldness, the waiting has built confidence, and your trust has become unshakable. That door you've been praying for, it's not just about you. It's about those connected to your obedience. Your yes will unlock destinies. Your breakthrough will break generational curses. Your step of faith will start a chain reaction of salvation, healing, and revival. That door is not just your entrance, it's someone else's escape. Someone is waiting on the other side of your obedience. So walk boldly, child of God. Walk humbly, but walk boldly. You were created for this. You were chosen for this. You were born for such a time as this. And the same God who has kept you in the fire is the same God who is leading you to the door. And hear me now, child of God, when the Lord opens a door, no man can shut it. I don't care what they've said about you. I don't care how many times they've tried to disqualify you. I don't care how long you've been on the sidelines watching others move ahead while you've waited in stillness. The door that God opens has your name on it. It has been sealed with divine purpose. No jealousy can block it. No system can delay it. No demon in hell can revoke it. When God says it is time, the hinges of heaven will swing and you will walk through. But don't you forget this, God is not in a hurry, and He's not trying to impress people with your arrival. He's trying to develop something in you that will last when the applause fades. The open door is not a reward, it is a responsibility. It is not a stage, it is a stewardship. And if you walk through it with pride, it will crush you. But if you walk through it with humility, it will crown you. The Lord is looking for those who will carry His glory, not steal it. Those who will point to Him, not themselves. That's why the preparation has taken time. That's why the process has been painful. That's why the pruning has felt so severe. Because God is not trying to give you a moment. He's trying to give you a mantle. And mantles are not for the faint of heart. They require courage. They require consecration. They require character. Not charisma. Character. We have too many people who want influence without integrity. We have too many voices who want to be heard, but haven't sat long enough in the secret place to know what heaven is truly saying. But God is raising a remnant, a holy remnant, who refuse to be bought, who will not compromise, who will not bow to culture, who will walk through doors not to build their own kingdoms, but to advance the kingdom of God. You see, when God is about to open a door in your life, there will be a shift in your spirit. You'll begin to lose your appetite for things that once entertained you. You'll start waking up with a holy burden. You'll find yourself pulled to prayer more often. You'll sense the Holy Spirit drawing you out of certain conversations, out of old environments, away from the familiar. That's not isolation. God is pulling you apart because He's about to set you apart. He is sanctifying you for the assignment. You can't take everyone with you through the next door. You can't carry old baggage through new breakthroughs. You can't mix sacred oil with worldly agendas. You've got to be willing to walk alone if that's what obedience demands. Oh, it's going to cost you something. It might cost you friends. It might cost you comfort. It might cost you the approval of people who used to walk closely with you. But don't you dare trade the calling for comfort. Don't you dare forfeit your purpose for popularity. The door God is opening will demand all of you, and when you give Him all, He gives you access to all He has. Some of you have been standing in front of locked doors, pounding, begging, crying, asking God to open what He has not ordained. And God, in His mercy, has said no, not because He's cruel, but because He loves you too much to give you what will destroy you. There are some doors God closes for your protection. There are some places you were never meant to go, some positions you were never meant to hold, some people you were never meant to walk with. Rejection is often redirection. Stop crying over closed doors and start praising God for divine detours. Because the right door doesn't need to be forced open. When it's God, it flows, it aligns, it confirms His word, it carries peace, not ease. Peace. You might still face giants on the other side, but you'll walk in with authority. You might still face battles, but the grace will be sufficient because the door was opened by God. And what God opens, He sustains. Let me tell you something else. When God is about to open a new door in your life, He will stir up dissatisfaction in your current place. You'll start feeling uncomfortable. The things that used to satisfy you no longer do. The conversations that used to engage you now feel empty. That's not burnout, it's birthing. God is agitating the nest so that you'll stretch your wings and fly. He's making it uncomfortable so that you don't settle. He loves you too much to let you stay where you are. The push is painful, but it's also prophetic. It's saying, get ready, pack your bags, shift your posture, something new is coming. There are times when God will allow everything to dry up, resources, relationships, routines, so that you'll move when He says move. He did it to Elijah. He allowed the brook to dry up so that Elijah would follow the next instruction. Some of you are mourning a dried up brook when you should be listening for your next direction. God doesn't dry up one place unless He's preparing a new provision somewhere else. And hear this, you've got to be willing to leave the familiar behind. Abraham had to leave his homeland. Ruth had to leave Moab. Peter had to leave the boat. If you want to walk through the doors of destiny, you must be willing to let go of what is comfortable. The open door often leads to the unknown, but it's in the unknown where faith grows. It's in the unknown where miracles are birthed. It's in the unknown where God shows you who He truly is. So I ask you now, are you ready? Not just emotionally, not just intellectually, but spiritually. Is your heart surrendered? Is your will aligned? Is your faith alive? Because the door is opening. I feel it in my spirit even as I speak. The atmosphere is shifting. God is unlocking doors for those who have been faithful, for those who have been hidden, for those who have walked through the valley and still lifted their hands in worship. He is opening doors for the brokenhearted, for the widow who kept praying, for the father who kept sowing, for the servant who never sought the spotlight, for the warrior who's been battle-scarred but never stopped believing. You may walk in with a limp, but you'll still walk in. You may carry scars, but they are proof you survive. And when you cross that threshold, heaven will rejoice because you didn't give up. You didn't bow. You didn't sell your birthright for a bowl of comfort. God is getting ready to do something so big in your life that you will look back and weep. Not because of the pain, but because of how faithful He has been. You'll say, if I had quit back then, I would have missed this moment. If I had stopped praying, I would have missed this promise. If I had given up hope, I would have never seen this glory. So press in, dig deep, stay rooted in His Word. Worship while you wait, fast and pray. Guard your heart, purify your motives. And above all, listen. The Spirit is speaking. The winds are changing. The trumpet is sounding in the spirit realm. The King is calling His warriors to attention. The door's about to open. Don't be found unready. I feel it in my spirit today. There's an awakening happening right now, a divine stirring, a holy activation. God is not just opening doors, He's opening your eyes. You've been looking at your circumstances through natural eyes, but I tell you, the moment has come for you to see with spiritual vision. There are opportunities in front of you, but you've been too distracted to recognize them. The door is not always obvious. It is often hidden in the shape of a trial, wrapped in the garment of discomfort, veiled behind the curtain of uncertainty. You've asked God for clarity, and now He's sending it. But clarity requires courage. The clarity He's about to give you will require a step you've never taken before. It will require you to trust when you don't have all the answers. It will require you to believe that God's plans for you are bigger than the limitations you've placed on yourself. He's calling you to step into the unknown because He knows that in the unknown, your faith will grow. In the unknown, your dependency on Him will deepen. And in the unknown, you will experience His power in ways that will change the trajectory of your life. Now let me speak to those who feel like they've been in a holding pattern. You've been waiting for the door to open, but it hasn't happened yet. You've been faithful, you've been patient, but you've started to wonder if God has forgotten you. I want you to hear this. God has never forgotten you. His promises do not fail. His timing is perfect. And in His perfect timing, He will open the door. What you cannot see right now is that behind the scenes, God is aligning circumstances. He's moving mountains. He's rearranging things on your behalf. While you're waiting, He's working. While you're praying, He's preparing. There is no wasted time in God's economy. Every moment of waiting is an opportunity for God to build in you what is necessary for the new season He's bringing you into. But the waiting, it will test your faith. The waiting will test your character. The waiting will test your obedience. You will be tempted to settle for less. You will be tempted to walk through a door that seems easier, more comfortable, more immediate. But that door is a trap. It's the counterfeit. It's the distraction.